the hood champion boxing and sports. And boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. So, big fight coming up, May 7th. Flip Hrgovic, number 3 ranked in IBF and number 13 ranked Zhilei Zhang are going to be fighting as a co-feature for Bivol and Canelo. Now, there are a lot of people who feel that Hrgovic and Zhang both aren't big names. But I guess I feel that they're not huge names, but they're names. And I probably feel that because I watch a lot of boxing. Now, the thing about this, right, is you probably know more about Hrgovic because he's been fighting on his own, and, you know, Eddie Hearn's been helping out a whole lot with his career. So you've probably seen him in a lot of fights. A lot of us have seen, I think his name is Eric Molina. He fought AJ, he fought Wilder. Molina fought Hrgovic. You know, so Eric Molina has a name. He has more of a name than these two. But that's why you would know probably Hrgovic, because you've seen that fight. But what's going to happen here, right? I'm going to go ahead and put a prediction out. You see, this number 13th ranked Zhilei Zhang. For some people aren't giving him any credit because they felt like he stayed an amateur too long. He's 38 years old, okay? He's done, I just did a video on him. He has some accolades as an amateur. He was an amateur for an extremely long time. The man's 38 years old. But he can fight. And when he gets in here with this guy, Hrgovic is a guy who just likes to try to come down and bully opponents. And he's not going to be able to do that when it comes with Zhang. Now, I think the majority of people are saying that Hrgovic is going to win this fight. They think it's going to be a good fight, but not more than that. And they say just to be realistic, right? But Hrgovic has a bad habit of hitting behind the head, doing rabbit punches. And again, I say it in almost every other video I do. If the referee lets you get away with it, then do it. If you let me bring a bat in the ring and beat somebody over the head with it, then I'm going to do it. And although he's not using the bat, Hrgovic, he loves to beat his opponents behind the head with that damn fist. He's always throwing rabbit punches. Now, he is taller than most of his opponents. So when they get in close and he's trying to throw, you know, inside shots or short looping shots, you know, it tends to happen to hit him behind the head. But he has a habit of doing it. And Eric Molina is a little bit of acting going on, a little bit of theatrics, but you know, hey, he was getting hit behind the head. And Molina had he had a good moment in that fight with Hrgovic, but Molina looks like he's just trying to get paydays, man. He's always getting knocked out. So I was surprised he didn't stand up to Hrgovic a bit more. But Hrgovic can fight. I just think he's met his match with Zhang. People are making comments like what I posted here, man. You know, the IBF had to comb, you know, they had to like really scrape the bottom of the barrel to pull out this big 6'7", you know, Chinese heavyweight fighter just to get a fight for this guy Hrgovic. Let me tell you something, right? Zhang is a southpaw, and he can fight. I picked Zhang to beat Hrgovic. Hrgovic's not going to be able to just come in there, man, and punch behind the head and be flagrant the way he likes to. That's how Hrgovic has won a lot of his fights, man, is being reckless in the ring. Now, Hrgovic had skill. You go out there and watch Hrgovic, especially as an amateur, when he fought, he and Joe Joyce were fighting. You'll see the way he let his hands go, that he has skill. His style has evolved now as a heavyweight. But when you look at with Zhang, he may not seem like anything special to some people who are looking more for an all-out action fighter. But Zhang is a counterpuncher. He can come forward and be aggressive as well. He's massive. I mean, massive. And he hits extremely hard. I just don't think Hrgovic is going to be able to get off the shots he wants, because although some people feel that Zhang can be a bit static at times, Hrgovic gets hit too. And I'm just telling you, I think if any one of them was to go down from a shot, which anyone can, I think Hrgovic goes down first. I really do. I think that southpaw style is going to be horrible for him. You know, a big, strong heavyweight with a very long amateur career. I mean that this guy has an advantage over a lot of opponents. And that's why in this fight, I'm picking him to win. I just think there's nothing he hasn't seen. And with that southpaw style and that bazooka-like left hand that he has, it's going to be lights out as soon as he lands on this guy Hrgovic. Hrgovic's not going to be able to just come out there and try to walk him down. It's just not going to happen. You know, also Hrgovic, hopefully they got the good referee, because Hrgovic likes to throw rapid shots and low punches. And he seems to get away with a lot of that crap, man. And we know what that can cause as far as long term with guys getting hit like that. And it is what it is. So when they talk about these Eastern European fighters, they all have a kind of style that kind of mirrors each other. And they keep their arms out, and they try to use their arms a lot for defense. And they use their arms to get them out if you're launching an attack, to defuse what you're doing and then go back, because they're so long. I'm talking about the heavyweights. They're so big and so long, so they can keep you at bay with just taking a half a step back, a couple steps back, and just putting their arms straight out. You can't possibly get to them because most of the time they have the reach advantage. And Hrgovic has a tendency to do that. But what's he going to do when he gets in there with somebody that has about the same reach as he does? And that's what you're seeing here. Now, this is not a Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury type fight. But what it is, the similarity is just the dimensions of these guys. They're both very close in every area. But I'm giving the edge to Zhang. I'm going to go with the underdog. I just think that Zhang is going to surprise him with his ability to outbox him, and I think that southpaw style is going to give Hrgovic huge problems. Huge problems. He's just not going to be able to come forward and do what he wants. And people say it seems like a bit of a mismatch. Saying the mismatch being that Zhang has no business in the ring. I don't think it's a mismatch. I think this is going to be in a walk in the park for Zhang. And you know, Zhang he's not super fast, but neither is Hrgovic. I give the speed advantage to Hrgovic, but Zhang knows how to nullify that speed. He knows how to time. I was watching the fight with Zhang and like a couple years ago. I can't remember the fight, but I was watching it earlier today. And the guy was coming in, and he threw a right hand. He threw that right hand, and Zhang slipped just enough. That shot went right over his right shoulder. He caught him with a check hook, right hook, because he's southpaw, and the guy and starched the guy. Then he came with that big, boom, left hand. And when I say, man, that guy went down hard, and the punch selection, the timing, and the power. And I was like, you know, all these heavyweights, if they hit you, they can hurt you. But I just think I think Eddie Hearn has something special in him. I really do. I could be wrong, but I just have a feeling Hrgovic isn't built the same way that the Chinese heavyweight is built. And I think Hrgovic is going to realize that, because Hrgovic gets hit, and he's not going to be able to handle that, man. And Flip Hrgovic, he's not all that fast anyway. He throws heavy shots, but you can see his shots coming. And with a guy like Zhang, who's not in there looking to be super fast and let his hands go a whole lot to make mistakes, he's sitting back waiting for Flip, a guy who likes to throw a lot of punches, to counter him. And that's going to be his downfall. And if you disagree, I guess we'll find out. But I really don't think that Hrgovic is going to get past the 5th round. I think within 4 rounds, Zhang will knock him out. I think he's going to knock him out. And Eddie Hearn, so that's what I think. I think he's going to be a knockout. But these guys need each other because no one wanted to fight Flip Hrgovic, man. Even Luis Ortiz didn't want to fight him. Nobody wants to fight him. And with Zhang, I don't think anyone's even paying him any attention because of where he's ranked. But he's a threat too. They don't want to fight these guys. Why would they go and fight a number 13 guy and risk losing to him? Everybody wants to cash out. They want the big money fight. But Eddie Hearn is sitting here, and he actually had a purse bid for $650,000 to make this fight happen, where Hrgovic is getting 60% of that, which is cool. So he'll be getting paid close to $400,000, and Zhang will be getting paid $260,000. So decent purses for these guys. But whoever wins this fight is definitely going on to bigger and better things. I think some people are siding with Hrgovic because, he's 6'6" as well, 247, 250 so pounds. So they say about 250 pounds. But he's won 7 consecutive bouts by knockout, a technical knockout. And you gotta recognize that. You really do. But when it comes to Zhilei, he has shown that he can get fighters hurt, but that he may have some stamina issues. And that could be because he's standing at 6'6", almost 6'7", 274 pounds. That's a lot of weight to move around the ring. So we'll see just how this plays out. But I think Eddie Hearn has got his hands on 2 gems. But I just think Eddie Hearn is more pushing for Hrgovic to go on and do big things. But I really think Zhang is gonna, because Zhang's residing in New Jersey now. He didn't leave China to come here to the States to lose. And I think when he goes in there, he's gonna do whatever he has to win that fight. The only way Zhang loses this fight is if he didn't take his conditioning seriously and he gets in there and gets tired, because Hrgovic is gonna let his hands go every round until the fight's over. Like he's not gonna sit there and get overly fatigued. It's like he's only programmed one way to come forward. That's why I think the fight's gonna end within 4 with Zhang clipping him, because Zhang is all about countering you and timing you. And when he lets his hands go, his hands are super. When he lets them go, his hands are super fast, and it hits hard. Now, when I say super fast, I'm not talking about Amir Khan fast, but when he lets those, like when he throws that check hook in the left hand, or he lets that right hand go, when he decides to let his hands go, it's pretty fast, and he hits extremely hard. So we'll see how it plays out, but I'm picking Zhang. And I think I talked about it already. I think from a marketing standpoint, it's just much easier to market him. It just is, and I'm rooting for him, man. I am. I want him to win. Hrgovic, I think he's an alright fighter, but he's too dirty to me, man. These fighters hitting everyone behind their head and stuff. I don't like that, and I just think he's not gonna be able to get away with that crap with Zhang, because he's about the same size. He's bigger, stronger. I think he hits harder. And I think Hrgovic's going to get in there and learn really quickly that you can't come in there and bully an Asian heavyweight. You just can't do it. It's going to be a life or death type scenario, in my opinion, which I think the Chinaman's going to come up victorious. So we'll see how it all plays out. Both of those guys are accomplished amateurs. They've done great things as pros. They've been winning. They've been doing great. Nobody really wanted to fight either one of them, especially Hrgovic. Zhang decided to step up because he felt it was good for boxing and a good opportunity for him. And I think Zhang's going to capitalize. And I think Hrgovic has to go back to the drawing board and figure out what next. But that's really what I feel is going to happen. And if Zhang clips him, Zhang's going to be in line for Parker and Joyce, whoever wins out of that fight. And, if Joe Joyce wins, which I think he's going to win, it's going to be a tough fight for Zhang. Joe Joyce, that man here, that guy has a chin on him. So we'll see. But I think coming out in the next couple of months is going to be Zhang and Joe Joyce fighting. And whoever wins out of Usyk and AJ are going to fight Fury. And then whoever wins out of Joyce and Zhang, so what I'm predicting, they're going to get that fight with the winner of Fury and whoever else, AJ and Usyk. That's what I think is going to happen. None of it may happen, but that's my prediction. So Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to all the veterans. Keep safe. Thanks for the support. And as always, I'm in the breeze.